Welcome back to the channel. Today we are building one of the biggest and most powerful batteries I have ever made. A customer living over 1,400 kilometers away got an insane deal. He bought the whole electric motorbike with everything included for just €400. To put that into perspective, just a brand new 8,000 watt motor costs over €460. But look at what came with the bike. This is an absolute disaster of an old battery. It's held together by duct tape, it's a total fire hazard, and it just can't keep up with the power of this machine. The customer wanted to be able to ride 100 kilometers on a single charge and have a ton of extra power left. So I got to work and designed a custom battery to squeeze the absolute biggest pack possible into his frame. Let's jump straight into chapter 1, the battery project and cell layout. Because of how tight the space is in the frame, we are building this as a dual module setup. Two separate packs connected together, each built as a 10 series module, combining to give us a full 20S configuration, 72 volts. For the cells, we aren't cutting any corners. We are using brand new, top quality grade A 21700 cells, fresh from the 2026 production year. These cells are built for heavy performance with a high continuous discharge current. Each cell packs 5 amp hours of capacity. Since we are building a 8 parallel configuration across the packs, that gives us a total of 8 times 5 equals 40 amp hours. Now what does this all mean in the real world? It's easier to understand battery capacity using watt hours. We calculate watt hours by multiplying the total voltage by the capacity. In our case, 72 volts times 40 amp hours gives us a massive 2,880 watt hours. This means that the battery can output 2,880 watts for a whole 1 hour. The average consumption of these high power electric motorbikes is around 28 to 35 watt hours per kilometer. When you do the math, this pack easily hits the customer's goal, giving him a real range of over 100 kilometers on a single charge. To keep all of this power safe and under control, we're using a Smart BMS to control this battery. This unit handles 200 amps continuous and up to 300 amps peak, featuring active balancing and full Bluetooth connectivity. Chapter 2, Spot Welding the battery. First, I designed these custom cell holders on my PC. This is a must. Never skip using cell holders. If the cells touch, the battery can catch fire. Next, I printed out the plastic holders and carefully placed every single cell into them. This is how the copper connections look. They're super simple and easy to cut out. To get the best performance, I calculated that I should use 0.15 millimeters of pure copper for the connections. Boom, we have the battery now on the workbench. This is the first pack. We have the spot holder on. We have to turn it up to gear 25. So let's do that. 25. That is the perfect setting for 0.15 millimeters of pure copper. We have the nickel tabs ready for the copper sandwich, and we're going to start placing down the copper. Of course following the configuration, and then we're going to just spot weld everything up. Alright, so now after finally bonding the two packs together, we can start spot welding this copper down onto the positive over here, and then we're going to place down the BMS on top and start routing the cables left and right. We're going to spot weld the sheets on the left so that the top of the battery is pretty much ready, and then we're going to insulate the pack and place down the BMS on top. The cells on the right here are the main negative of the battery. We'll have to connect the BMS main discharge cables onto the cells here. Alright, so we have the main negative now fully cut out. It's perfectly sized to fit in here. We have a small hole in here since this one is going to go first. And then we're going to solder directly to the copper under and directly on the one over, so that we have 2 layers of pure copper connected to the actual BMS cable. Now for chapter 3, time to mount the brain of the battery, the JK Smart BMS. First, I mounted the BMS securely on top of the pack, where it fits nicely and stays protected. Next, I soldered the main negative wire, the B- lead directly from the BMS to the main negative connection of the battery. After fully insulating the main negative connection from the battery, using fish paper, fiberglass tape and some low resistance glue, it was time to connect the main positive side of the pack. After that, it was just a matter of routing all the balance wires cleanly across the pack so that everything's nice and neat, organized and secure. This is how the BMS balancing wires look after finally connecting all of them. I used double-sided tape to route and lock the cables in place, and I finished it off with fish paper and Captain tape to keep everything completely insulated and secure. On the left here, you can see the temperature sensors. I've routed them directly across the cells to monitor temperatures as accurately as possible. Now for chapter 4. Insulating and protecting the entire battery so that it's nicely safe and durable for the road. Throughout this entire build, I use a lot of specialized materials. Always make sure to use the right materials meant for batteries, never cheap out on insulation. With all of the cables connected and routed, the next step was covering all of the sides with foam. It's a perfect material to wrap the pack and absorb any vibrations. This is how the battery looks after insulating it with foam. After that, I cut out precise pieces from a fiberglass board to wrap around the main body of the battery. As you can see, it fits on there perfectly. The dimensions are perfect. The customer has up to 13 centimeters to fit. So let me show you, it's right on the spot, under 13. 12.9 centimeters.
Nice.
So it's going to fit in the frame perfectly. However, because the customer had a very tight frame to work with, as you can see right here, I couldn't place a full fiberglass sheet on top of the pack. I need to make it as compact as I can, so I'm going to just add some very strong tape just to cover the whole top up and just to secure this whole battery together in one whole place. The last step in this build was heat shrinking the whole battery so that it's nicely water resistant. It's time for the final chapter, the results. The dimensions came out perfect, matching all of the customer's measurements. For the power output, I soldered a heavy-duty QS8 connector along with two XT60 connectors for the dual chargers. Also, here is how the Bluetooth app looks on the phone. You can monitor everything, from the cell temperature and individual group voltages to the remaining capacity. I also added a easy access on and off switch right on the battery for quick control. Thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'll be posting new battery builds every week. In fact, I'm building a crazy 60 horsepower battery this week, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. You can also join my Discord server, link below, or message me directly through WhatsApp on the phone number in the description.